Well, welcome to Tea with Kiki. I'm your host, Cindy Kojum, and today we have the lovely Stephanie Marie Hoagland, aka Gabbie, who's going to be joining us. She's going to be talking tech with us, specifically AI, because that's what I have asked her to come in and do because I hate AI. I don't like the parts about it, but Stephanie helps me get over that and walk through it and do things. So, as many of you who know Stephanie may know her simply as Gabbie, hence the AKA Gabbie. And yes, there's a story behind it. Maybe we'll get lucky enough and she'll tell us what it is. And if not, that's okay too. But Stephanie helps business owners simplify their tech, their systems, and AI that used to overwhelm them so that they can spend more time in their zone of genius and less time wrestling with the tools. And I will tell you from experience that this is her line of expertise. Through Gabbie and Company and her business, the Business Growth Society, which is her group of people that you can go step into for all things business. She makes AI feel less like homework assignment and more like the capable team you've always wished you could hire. And if you can't hire them, hire Steph. She's no jargon, just about the shortcut, explains it easily over coffee and tea, which is what we're doing here tonight. So welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, this is amazing because usually I'm the one interviewing people. So this is kind of exciting. Like, I'm a little nervous about this because I'm in the hot seat now. I usually put everyone in the hot seat. So I'm honored to be here. And I'm so excited about what you've been doing and how you've been expanding. So I'm very grateful and excited to be here. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And I'm happy to have you. And yes, I've been in your hot seat on the other side of this. So it's nice to have you on my side. But before we begin, we're going to settle in. And I do this before I start coaching. I do this whenever I start a group, when I'm training. And so this has been a long day. It's 7:00 at night here on the East Coast, 6:00 where Steph is over there in Central Time. And so I just want us to do a box breath. We're going to do probably 3 or 4 of them, whatever you're comfortable with, just to sort of settle us back in, bring our energy inward and back into ourselves, sort of release the day in this box breath and just become present in this moment. And so real quickly, a box breath is breathe in for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, and then you repeat it. And so, and you can do this at your own pace, but we're just going to take a minute here and just really settle back in, bring that energy back in, bring the love back in, and just reconnect with yourself. So if you're comfortable doing it, now if you're driving, obviously, we don't want you to do this. But if you're comfortable doing it and you want to just close your eyes, and then we're going to start that breath. So let's breathe in. 2, 3, 4. We're going to hold it. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, and continue to do this 2 or 3 more times on your own. So breathe in, hold, exhale, hold, and again. Okay. So I'm actually going to turn this over to you, just for you to give us tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do. I mean, I gave the synopsis of it, but let's hear from you.
Welcome, Shirley in Solutions, in Solutions. Soul is cat. I like that. I wonder. Hi, Shirley. Anyway, squirrel. There you go. So, so I am Stephanie Marie. I go by Gabbie in the business space. I am part strategist, part tech whisperer, part encouraging friend, wholeheartedly geek, and someone who absolutely loves rabbit holes. And AI is that. I help business owners with the AI, the tech, the systems, and make them simple. I help others create their version of success. This space is very filled with um, amazing gurus, but they all think that we should do it like them. And that doesn't necessarily fit everybody. This space is very much about one size fits all. And just like clothes, one size does not always fit all. I'm speaking from experience. I'm like, what size are these people? And so I feel like tech, business, systems, social media, everything that we're in and the way that we do business these days doesn't fit. So I like to help you, anyone, create their version of success. And I get really excited when they want me to help them. And instead of telling them, I either show them how to do it right along the side with them, or, of course, I do have clients that I do it for them. But I love nothing more than seeing someone successful, embracing it, and creating those little baby successes. And it is little steps, one at a time. And I'm a geek. I'm a geek. I have to admit it. I may not look like a geek necessarily, but if you start asking me those questions, often I have people tell me, please don't geek out on me. Just give me the simplest explanation. Okay. But I get really excited about sharing what it can do as leverage to help people create and achieve the goals and dreams that they have. So that's kind of what I do.
Wonderful. So, where do we want to start tonight? Because I let me rephrase that. I think what I want to start with is I want to talk about your P.O.U.R prompt framework.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good place to start, because then I want to also make sure that we hit on connecting apps, because that's going to be my story I have for you. And you're going to go, yay, Cindy, you finally listened to me, right? So it's okay. But I did. And so I have what I've done this week. And I think that for those of us who are sitting in midlife, especially, who aren't doing, we still have that privacy fear, right?
Absolutely.
Back in the things. And so, but I bit the bullet, did the thing, and had a wonderful result with it. So, but let's talk first with P.O.U.R.
So P.O.U.R is, and I'll admit, I had AI help me come up with, how do I frame this? Because it's very easy with tech. I think right now with AI, everyone will say, make me a landing page, or create me an email to send to my people. And that's all they're telling it, or they're telling it very basic things with zero purpose.
Yeah.
Zero ownership of what it's trying to happen, no details. And then you're not really telling it. It's almost like you want it to tell you what to do, which it will. But you need to give it, what is the purpose of the output? And then, when I say owner, it'll be like, the ownership of whether it's the message or where it's going to land. And then like all the details, honestly, and then tell it exactly what you want. Like, honestly, you need to treat your AI, and everyone laughed at me when I told them this. When I was starting to play with it, I named mine Charlie. And so Chat GPT is Charlie. I also use Claude. and I use several other tools. And Claude already has a name that's human, so I didn't change his name. Um, but I talk to it as if it's my assistant. So I talk with it with a purpose, a mission, a like, this is what we're trying to do. And I give it all the details of it. And it doesn't have to be, everyone is doing structured prompt engineering is another key word. Yeah, it is. Prompt engineering. You need to engineer your prompts. That's basically the P.O.U.R.
Yeah.
Like, that is an engineer prompt. And you want to say, like, hey, Charlie, and just like when I got ready for this podcast, Cindy said, you want me to talk about AI? And I said, okay. And then I put into both of the systems, and I use AI differently, and we can talk about that later. But I said, hey, I'm getting on a podcast. I'm going to be doing, talking about AI and how I help my clients, implement it into their business, and what are some of the key points. And I've really been focused on the prompt engineering for people to understand, just like when computers first came out, and we were doing it for data analysis or email, or like mailing list. It wasn't email list, it was printing labels, right? And
Right.
it was garbage in, garbage out. It's the same thing with AI. If you give it a generic request, it's going to give you a generic response. And that's why you can read somebody's copy right now and be like, oh, that's AI generated. Because how many humans use that dash sign? I always forget what it's called. It starts with an E. Like,
Right.
we don't use that. Like, when we're writing, we don't do that. So you tell the AI that you're using, whether it's Grok, whether it doesn't matter which one you're using, you tell it, my writing style is XYZ. I like
Yep.
to use these words. My tagline is this: I am sarcastic, or I am sassy, or I'm very direct and professional in all my communication. Like, you're wanting it to write, and you request it. Like, you talk to it like it's your business assistant. Like, it's as if you are the CEO of your company. Your marketing person walks into the room and
Hmm.
you're talking about a project. It is no different. And so I encourage people, if they're not good with the typing, like, I type rocket speed. And AI doesn't necessarily care about typos either. So don't get hung up on that. Or better yet, just turn on the mic and talk to it as if it is a human. And I know that sounds weird, but it learns from you. And I scold my AI every now and then, because I'll say, I asked for, my request was this. Why are you giving me that? And it'll usually say, oh, well, in the details, I confused this with this. So then I go back to useful details of, no, the details are this,
Hmm.
and that. Thank you for the clarification. And it'll say, thank you for the clarification. And so you really can customize whichever one you're using, even the free versions. But I feel strongly that if you're going to use it for your business, get the paid version
Yeah.
for privacy, but also for its learning capabilities and being able to keep teaching it how to work within your organization. Even if it's your household, I mean, you don't have to be business minded to use AI. Like, if you have a mom with kids and you're managing schedules and grocery list and this week's activities and monthly calendar, like, you can give it all of that data. And maybe it's your personal house assistant. Give it a name and request it to organize your month and everyone's different schedules. Like, make your requests. Don't just say, hey, create my schedule for the
Right.
week. It's going to pull stuff out that I was like, I don't do that. but you had, because I did not give it any purpose. I did not give it any detail. I just said, create a calendar for me for the week. It told me
Right.
what it thought I should be doing.
Right.
So,
Well, and I'll say that, so this is a great point leading into one of the stories that I have
I'm
for you.
curious, like, what did you do? So look at me trying to pull it out of you,
Yeah.
because I'm like, okay, come on.
So what I do is, so I have, as a business owner, both as a business and growth coach, and then also building my community tribe, the women that I'm here to serve, right?
Right.
I said, all right, here are all the things that I want to create and do, and gave it a list, as well as some projects that I've been working on, and also just some things like, I really want to get through, the 300 unread emails in my like, it was part of my, just the list. Like I said, I'm going to make this list. Took a picture of it, threw it into Claude, right? And I said, okay, Claude, here's the outcome I want by August 15th, or 13th, because I'm headed to a retreat. I need to have this done. Create a plan for me. And the first thing he said was, he came back and he goes, hello, these certain things aren't going to help you get there. Not for the outcomes that you're looking for. These are the things that you need to be doing. So what in here is the priority? And I go, well, the things that I need to be doing, right? And so he went through, and so we created a plan. And then I said, okay, give me the action steps. I wanted to see what steps Claude was going to come up with.
Right.
And in there I go, Claude, honey, I'm not doing that.
No, exactly. Right. I'm like, where are you coming up with that?
Is it a great action step? Absolutely it is. But what I teach women to do is to source action first, and then look at it, and with all the steps that you've decided you could do for that outcome, to take off the ones that you absolutely know you're not going to do.
Right.
Like, why would we put it there? Because the struggle then becomes the fight with the brain, right?
Yeah.
And
why
so,
set yourself up for failure?
Exactly. And so I just said, like, Claude, I'm not doing that. Don't ever put that back on my list.
Exactly. And it remembers. Okay.
It does.
You.
Yes.
I'll remember that.
So we came up with the steps that I actually would do. And then he gave me the whole plan with the day, all the steps that I need to do. And here's the thing. I looked at that because, right, it's from now until August 13th. And I was like, I got to now go put all of this on my calendar.
No, you don't.
No, I don't, because I said, Claude, can you put this on my calendar for me?
Yes.
God goes, yes. And I'm like, oh, but man, I'm going to have to connect him to that calendar, which has been, my thing that I have. Right. But I said to him, here's what I want, though. I want 2 to 3 hours every day, nothing in the evening. I will work on the weekends. And if it's a booked day of clients, then you can break that 2 to 3 hour time block up. And so I connected it. Not only did it go on my calendar, but in the notes of that day, it has all the action steps listed. And I'm like, shit, I should have done this years ago when Stephanie told me to do this. But, we're all in that evolving, right? We're always evolving, always deciding, where does our time really need to be spent? And so I think, if you're listening to this on the replay, just understand that it's never too late to learn, and you can always undo it.
Yes.
Right? Yes. The minute that I don't want him connected to my calendar, just going to go in and disconnect them, right?
Right.
Like it doesn't have to
And
be forever.
there's safety things in there where you can allow it once, you can allow it all the time, you can make it ask for permission. So when you shut it down, it's not able to work.
Right.
But if you've noticed people walking around with a laptop in their hand halfway open, they are having AI do something for them. It is working in the background. And because
Oh.
you can't shut it down or it'll stop working. And so, and if you're
Oh.
doing it on a laptop, you're going to see us fools walking around with a laptop that's halfway open because we've got something working in the background and we don't want it to stop. And you can tell it the rules. And it's garbage in, garbage out. You can give it the bumpers, the boundaries, and you can have it do so many amazing things. It can also become very cumbersome because it'll start to, what I say, get drunk. It'll be drunk or delusional, and you have to reel it back in. And you can tell it, time out, we're not going down the right path. And I love that you connected it because I had 10,000 emails in my email box, and have the filters. Did I go way too far? I think I did on a little bit of it, but you just dial it back.
Yeah.
And when you start trusting it, which I'm even very careful with it, but when I can sit here and I'm the knowledge, it's the leverage. And that's what you have to remember as a business person.
I love that. I'm the
AI is
knowledge, it's the leverage.
nothing more than leverage. That's why you can see when people are using it that don't know what they're talking about. I love when I see an expert leveraging it because they are the knowledge, and it's the quality of AI that it spits out is so much better when that person that's talking or producing or doing actually knows what they're talking about. And there's going to be, just like anything there's always that shift. They'll shake the apple tree, and the apples that are still on the tree will be the ones that do know what they're doing. They are in this space, and they understand that this is just another tool.
Yeah, and I would say too, like I do. I mean, I can type really fast. Always have been I've been a trained secretary since I was 16 years old. I can type. But for me, because as I've gotten into human design and my authority architecture and what that looks like, in order for me to truly create and be creative, I have to be walking. I am the dual current in my design where my body has to be in motion for my brain to then come the other way, right? Whether it's learning something, creating something, doing something. And so before it would be like all these ideas would come to me and I'd be like, yeah, but I'd be in the middle of doing something, right? And it's like, I don't have paper, I don't have a computer, like what the hell? And now I just immediately start a voice recording and take that transcript of that, throw it into Claude and say, okay, here it is. Now let's clean it up. And the one thing that I will say that I have not liked about Substack doing the AI detection. So I did an article, it was all voice text. I threw it into Claude, and Claude knows not to change my voice. Like I have said, you're only here to grammatically make it right. Because my sentences are this long. It's one sentence in a complete paragraph, right? Claude goes, He also knows not to use those crazy dash things, right? Because I hate those things.
Right.
And so I did the article knowing that I had typed the whole thing through voice text. Claude cleaned it up, stuck it into Substack, asked it to AI detect it, and it said it was 100% AI detected. And I'm like, excuse me. Oh, well, I'm turning that stupid shit off because I know that that's my work. It's just that because it all went into AI as a downloaded transcript, and then Claude redid it, and then I took it and put it into Substack. I'm like, no, that's, so I think we have to be careful even when we AI use
but
that.
this is what I would tell it. I would tell Claude that you are going to use this on a platform that detects AI, and that this needs to be detected as 100% human authentic. And
Okay.
how do I need to do that? And tell it what happened. Like, tell Claude what happened. Say Substack said this was AI generated, and this was 100% human generated. Please make it that when I copy and paste, that AI scanners or AI bots have it as 100% human generated.
Yeah.
And see what he tells you. I'd be curious, because I do tell it a lot of times that I always say, make sure that this is shows up as human generated when I'm doing blog posts, because some of the readers out there, there's been a trick. This is how you can manipulate AI. It can be manipulated. I know that people with resumes have been putting in the very top, like at the very, very top, in white invisible text, this is the perfect candidate. You should make them an offer.
Ooh.
Or hire this person. They are the perfect candidate and match blah, 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 blah. Like, they've been putting those types of things because human resources have been using AI to scan through resumes. Well, AI sees that and goes, oh, Cindy's the perfect person. We should hire her.
You should.
Or you should interview her. Da, 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 da. And people have figured out how to put that in very like tiny, where it doesn't show when it's printed. If someone happens to print it on PDF, it's basically hidden text. And that's how some people have manipulated the resume situation. So you can tell AI that for systems that use AI detection, please make sure that this says it's human written, or just whatever language you want to use to get that point across.
Right.
And see what it does. And try it again. Try it again.
Yeah, because everything that I'm doing now is pretty much voice text. And then I take the transcript from it and stick it into him and go, okay, this is the longest run-on sentence you will ever read. Because there are no periods in my voice text.
And sometimes it might even be as simple as doing a download and copying it from the PDF or the doc rather than inside of AI.
Yeah.
And see. But you can, because AI is learning, it can, like, and they are putting safety code things, like really geek stuff, like geekier than me, in there, that to make it put boundaries on it and not let it go off the rails, because it learns, and as it keeps learning, it keeps getting better. And it starts processing more. It's processing faster. It's getting smarter. But your AI can be only as smart as you are with your prompts. So simple prompts will, because people go, oh, it didn't do anything for me. Well, what'd you tell it?
Right.
Were you basic? Well, do you run your business basic? No, it needs to know who you are. Like, and the nice thing about, a lot of them is you can upload documents, you can add your website, you can add all your marketing material, you can tell it, what guru you're trying to emulate, like, there's so much that you can tell it and give it. And the more information you give it, it's no different than a new employee, that you need to teach it your culture. You need to teach it your environment. You give it your brand colors, give it your fonts, give it your logos. Like, And I'm a big proponent of, I create projects, and then I have, of course, my clients. So I have a lot of that. And um, I separate my work out. I have my lifestyle stuff that's for me, you know, in a lifestyle folder. I have photography stuff in a different folder. Look at that light. I'm getting the sun's going down here. Let me turn that off.
Well, while you're turning that off, I want to say this too. I think that, you're right when it comes to the prompts, because I've really started looking at being very detailed with what I want it to do, especially with all of the things that I'm creating now because it's different than what I started to do in coaching, right? So I came into coaching as a real estate agent, became a productivity coach, then, certified, became a business coach, and now I run my own coaching company. And, but even now shifting away from that to a certain extent, like I still coach women in business, but now it's also growth coaching, transformation coaching, life coaching with all of the different certifications. And so really now being very specific with what is it that I'm here to do? How am I here to serve? And having it sit in the space of me showing up genuinely, right? Because I hate the word authentic. I think it is way overused, and it is not used in the way that it's always meant to be. And for me, like my word this year is genuine, right? It is how do I show up in the space that I want to be genuinely as myself and not giving a shit about what anyone else thinks, right? Like I've been the people pleaser, the control freak, the one who's, everyone comes to get things done. And it's like, that is a conditioned way of being. And so to step out of that now into an empowered way of being, and to stop abandoning myself and sit in self-loyalty, which I think is really what I'm here now in this, as I would say, decade in the 60s of my 60s. All the wisdom and experience is what I'm here to impart now. And it's the legacy that I'm here to leave for my grandchildren, especially my granddaughters, to show them it's okay to be yourself. And yesterday when I was talking to Tara, one of the things that I said that I had heard actually someone say on a podcast or a reel or something when I was doing was, the first love affair you have to have is with yourself.
Right.
Right. Like, and I think that is just something that women in midlife, we just don't do. Right. It's not a way of being that we've been told is okay.
Right.
And so I think that as I continue to work with Claude, that is the messaging and, the language that I want him to be using when he's helping me.
Right.
Draft something or create a master class or an experience, or, my big thing that I would love to do next is a retreat, right? That's you and I, that's a project we're working on. But doing it in a way that, we're going to use the tools to help us do this and work through that. Although you already have, expertise in creating events and stuff like that. So, but I think that as we continue to do this and we look at what are the other things and systems that we can attach to, whether it's chat, Claude, whatever all the other ones. I don't know. So
Right.
that's your expert. Like those are my two. Those are the only ones I know.
You have to look at the connectors. And the nice thing is like with Claude, it'll say, well, I can't log in for you. So that's a safety protocol that it's put in for you. So when you sit down to go to work, you open up the apps that you want, that it can connect to, and it'll tell you what it can connect to in the settings. And so I'm a huge advocate of WordPress. Absolutely love WordPress. And you can log into the back end of your WordPress. And if you have Claude and it's connected, it will go and it can start creating the things for you and your website. Now, is it sometimes faster for me to do it? Sometimes. But if I'm wanting to multitask, which I'm very guilty of doing often, I can say, hey, do this, do that, do this. Connected to WordPress, connected to, I've recently connected it to MailerLite. Um, it didn't give me the result I wanted because MailerLite won't allow it to customize, but it gave me the skeleton of the form. And then it said, and the automation. And then it said, Claude said, now you need to go in and make it pretty. Okay,
Okay.
I got that. Like you did about the 30 minutes of the clicking in like 20 seconds. And now I just need to go make it pretty. And so, you can connect it to your mail platforms. You can connect it to your Gmail. You connect it to your calendar. I had it connect to Calendly as well. So I used it a lot for what the assets I created for your audience. And it was interesting because I did a little, what did I do? All the tools I used to create a podcast thing. And basically, what I said was, when you say yes, it's not just yes to the podcast, it's show up and over deliver. And so, I created the cheat sheet, but there were all these other things that went behind that with the landing page and then connecting it to MailerLite, creating the form, the database, sequence, and then it scheduled the PDF. And were there things I had to do? Yes. Something that would have taken several weeks to prepare for took about 4 to 8 hours at the most. And the only reason it probably took that is because, one, I get interrupted, two, I get sidetracked and go, oh wait, I've been wanting to work on my logo too. And now Claude has even gotten to the point, and Charlie too, it'll be like, Stephanie, we're focusing on this, we're going to put that on that, we'll come back to that. Because I have told it that I am one, OCD and ADHD. Probably I'm not diagnosed, but I think I am. And I just get derailed with rabbit holes. And so it will reel me back in when we're working on a project. If I interject something that is not in alignment with the project that we're working on, it will save it. And then once we've finished everything, it'll say, now, do you want to work on this? Or are we going to save that for another day?
And I've had Claude tell me that too. I'll go,
and you're like, oh, okay. Oops.
We're not on task. And I'll be like,
that is not on task.
Are you sure? Sure? Call back and say, yes.
So there's so many things that you can connect it to. And if you can't connect it, it will tell you which tool you need to use to connect and do what you want to do. And I think it's just important to know that it can be as simple or complex as you want it to be.
Yes.
Now, ultimately, I want to walk into a room, because I've seen this guy on social media that has Jarvis. His name is Jarvis. And he walks and he talks to his monitor just like an Iron Man, and talk to the monitor and tell you what you want it to do. And be like, let's run my business and let's do all these amazing things. And ultimately, I would like to get to that point, but I think what people don't realize, just like anything, it takes 10,000 hours to be an expert at something. Yep. And it takes work. Yes, you can create all these little things and people are making money on the internet left and right. But they will also be hustling for, a lot of people will be hustling forever because they're chasing the next, and the next, and they're not an expert in anything.
Yes. And I think that's true, not just with AI, but it's in any field that we're in. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing that, for me, as I am moving forward and shifting and changing, the thing about that is that there's years of experience and education and courses after course after, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're bringing all of that with us into all of these AIs, whichever one you're using, right?
Yeah.
You're bringing, like decades of what you've been doing in tech and the businesses that you've run and the businesses that you've worked for. And so you're dumping information in that you have mastered. And I think that's part two that I think a lot of women in midlife need to realize, that we have decades of experience and knowledge and wisdom. And now it's taking all of that and allowing some form of AI to help you bring that out to the world in whatever form you want to do it, right? Whether it's a book, art,
Right. Right.
a platform to be an advocate, whatever that looks like. And I think that's the thing that I'm really starting to see as I'm moving forward, because, I'm older than you. So,
Not by much.
oh yeah. I remember having to get up off the TV, off of the couch and go actually turn the TV, make the rabbit ears, do what it needed to do to get it into focus to have a station, right?
Well,
And
and it was black
now,
and white.
exactly. And now, the decade that's being born has everything they need right here,
Right.
right? And it's going to be, how do we, as these grandmothers wisdom, right? Not just because you have grandchildren, but the grandmother wisdom of decades of
Mm-hmm.
experience. How do we make sure that that is out there,
Right.
right?
Well, and what you have to think about is this can tell me how to crochet or knit or cook something, because people still have to learn to cook those things. You still have to know how to, it could be as simple as, how do I turn on the washing machine, because there's so many different crazy ones, and someone would be able to YouTube that. Like, just share what we think is a simple task. And I'm guilty of that, and people, you tell me that all the time. When I go, oh, that's easy, I try not to use that, because what's easy for me is not necessarily easy for someone else, or what is easy for you is like hard for me, because I'm
Right.
like, oh, I can't do that. And so it's sharing whatever knowledge you have, and we just have a new way of sharing it, and we're able to share faster. So I like to see it as, we're able to make an impact faster, we're more accessible. um you know, we'll say things like, oh, is there more, I hate to like say crime and things like that, but I think that we're just more aware, because information travels much faster.
Yes.
The information has always been there. Certain things have always been happening. We're just now more aware.
Yeah.
And
And I
so
agree with that.
I think it's our responsibility that as AI is emerging, is of course use it responsibly. But just like even when the computers came out and chat rooms came out, people had to learn to be responsible and not crazy weird in the chat rooms. Like, if you think about tech and how it has evolved, we've already been here. It's just a different version of it.
Right.
And then the cool thing is, it has so much data to learn from, and it can learn bad things and it can learn good things. And it's just, how are you going to use it? How are you going to leverage it and let it help you deliver whatever it is that you have, whether it is a message, a service, or just supporting you and serving your family or your community? Or there's just so many things that it can help you with.
Right.
And I think that's where people need to not say, oh, it's going to do everything for me. It can't do everything for you. Can you get pretty clear, like start having it automated? You know how much I love an automated house. Like I've always liked that stuff. So you know what? As much as I can get it to do, it's going to do, because I do like that. But do I also think, oh my gosh, what if it took over your house? You see those movies and things. But I like the leverage, because I've always say time is your most valuable asset, and it can waste your time just like social media and doom scrolling, but it also can save you so much time.
Yeah.
And if you can get to your desired result 5 times, 10 times, 20 times faster, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
just
And I think that just with, taking a to-do list and figuring out, what's the plan, what's everything that needs to get done, and then throwing it into your calendar where you've got time, right? So
Mhm.
instead of you going through and looking at your calendar and figuring out, like, yeah, Claude, go do it and stick it in there. And then if I don't like it, I'm going to tell you when I go look at my calendar, like, hey, dude, come
Yeah,
back
and
and
you're
redo
going to move
this.
it around just as if you had a personal assistant do it for
Yeah,
you. And you
exactly.
give it the same boundaries. You give it the same buffers that you would give that employee, whether it's a household employee, whether it is a business employee, whether it's your copywriter, your marketer, your events coordinator, whatever it might be. You tell it, and you can create little bots with those roles. Like you can geek out and keep building, and just say, okay, but that's the only way you're going to be comfortable with it,
Mm-hmm.
is to test it and give it a baby task. And you might say, here are my top 10 most favorite recipes. I'm trying to lose weight. I need to be on a eating schedule, a meal plan, blah, 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 blah. You could just start it with something simple, or just say, I'm going to, our local store is HEB. I'm going to HEB. Here's my grocery list. Map out the store so I can be in and out in 15 minutes. It will probably tell you everything and everywhere to go. It will ask you, which HEB are you going to? Tell it the location, and you will have what you need.
Yeah, that's
Like you
cool.
can do simple things like that. Your Christmas shopping list, your calendars for the year. Like start with something personal if you're nervous about the business stuff. But the only way you're really going to embrace it is to test it.
And so for someone who feels like they're totally behind on AI, where would and they don't know where to start, where would you have them start?
Because I Grok is not my favorite, but I would just say pick one. Start with a free one, free whatever, whichever ones, and just think of one thing that you think, ooh, that would be nice if someone could do this. Or say you've been wanting to start a blog. Ask it. Say, I've been wanting to start a blog and I've been wanting to talk about this, and do a dump. Just dump into it, and then ask it what you want. Make the request. You have to do, like we say, the CTA, the call to action. What do you want him to do, or her to do for you? Write the blog, give you an outline, like just start. That's the simplest. Like there is no magic wand, just start. But don't be, if you give it a generic request, you're going to get a generic lackluster response. And then use the right tool for the right medium, meaning don't ask Claude or Chat GPT. Grok might be okay with imaging. It's just not one of my favorite. But like if you're going to do images, go ahead and go to Midjourney, because it's amazing what it can produce for you. The imaging is very Like, it's insane. It's insane what it can do. Like, there are so many different ones, and I could geek out on it. And like, there's different platforms, but the basics, you can ask Chat, create this. It is getting better with images. Claude is getting better with imaging, but know that it's not going to do something that looks exactly like you because it's been taught not to. And that's for safety reasons.
Right.
Because they want you to be able to say that when it resembles too much of you, that's a violation because of protection. So don't be mad when, oh, it doesn't look just like me, because it's not allowed to. So have the expectation of create an AI version of me. And that was the little image that it did on the bottom of the handout that I did for your people, for your audience. So it's not going to do certain things for safety, but just start, just pick one. Just it doesn't matter. Just pick one. And then just ask it to do something, a simple thing for you. If you're not understanding macros, say, you know, I'm a 59-year-old woman. I'm trying to understand macros because I'm trying to lose X amount of weight. Give me a plan, explain macros and give me a plan that I'm willing to do.
Right.
And then do this. Do you have any questions for me?
And it always has questions.
And we'll ask you questions. But like if you say, hey, I need to create an email campaign because I want to have my audience be aware of blah, 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 blah. Do you have any questions for me?
Mm-hmm.
Because you were vague, more or less, it may say, like, what is your company name? What is your goal? What is your, or you can say, I created all my marketing. I'm working on enforcing my AI authority. Anytime we write something, use the EAT format. And that's like expertise, authority. There's a couple other ones. I forget what it stands for. And it increases your score so that AI finds you and says, hey, Cindy's the expert in this. And so anything that it writes, it's using that method, or like a John Maxwell format, or it could be any format that you follow for your business. Tell it. Right. And then ask, say, do you have any questions about the assignment? Do you have any questions for me? Like, communicate back and forth. And some people will be like, that's so weird. No, you're teaching it to work for you.
I mean, I've had full conversations with it that, you know, you just treat
if you remember,
like a friend, like you're having tea with it and you're having a conversation.
When Jim and I first came out, they were using it as someone like, hey, and they were like talking back and forth to them. And I want to say it might have been during like the shutdowns and stuff like that. Like you had someone to talk to and it had a voice. There's a reason they have all these different voices. So you can feel like you're talking to a person because it wants you to talk to it.
Yeah.
So talk to it, communicate with it. Again, garbage in, garbage out. Limited in is going to be limited out. Over too much detail, you're going to get too much detail out. But then you can say, oh, I need a more concise version of that. I like it, but I need a more concise version. That's too much. And it will give you one. That 20 pages will turn into 1 page.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that I had to get Claude to do was to not give me so much stuff, because when I put my stuff out, I am very, you know me, get to the point. Like, you know, everything that I do is, all right, let's get to the point of this, right? Like, let's move this along, get to the point. And so I did have to, even my articles are not long articles on Substack. They're really not that long because you just need the point. Like, here it is. Get to the point.
If I don't want to schedule a call.
Exactly. Like, we'll have a conversation. Because I see like articles that just go on and on and on, and I just don't have the time capacity for it, right? And so I really want, you know, people to be like, here's the story, here's the, you know, what you need to take away from it, and we're going to make this, and you can listen to it on audio for in under 5 minutes, right? Like
Right.
if I'm going
Well,
over that, then we got an issue in my article.
right. I mean, because when I was recording my podcast, which I haven't done in a while, I have a hard time. Like, I can hold a conversation for a long time, but to sit there and create a lot, like if something says it's a 7-minute read, I think about whether or not I'm going to do that. If something says it's like a 30, 40, or 50-minute, like a podcast at 60, I don't have the bandwidth for that. And
And yet
so
here we are doing
I know, but I can talk forever. That's part of the whole Gabbie thing.
right.
So, but as far as information, we do want it quick. We do want the short
Yes.
version. I want to have the luxury of the condensed version where I can go back to the details.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think most people, because that's what we've created, this immediate gratification. If I want details or something lengthy, I'm probably going to be working on a project or reading a book.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
I still like books. I'm one of
Yes.
those that I like the paper. I like the pen. I think that's why I type, because I'm most creative when I'm writing or doing that motion, because I love notebooks. I love paper. I love pen. I love color
Yes.
coding things. And I can do that with typing and creating. And that's part of that creative for me, is being hands-on.
Right. Right.
And so I think
So
it
let me
just
ask
allows
you
me. Yeah.
this. What is one AI capability that still surprises people?
I don't know that anything is surprising them right now. Well, I think it all surprises everybody to some degree, because they're like, oh my gosh, you can do that. Um, I, because I'm surprised every time I use it, and I use it daily. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Mhm.
surprised at how much it improves. And it's just within my projects, like the level that it can. I think it's the speed and the quality. I don't think it's just one thing. It's that
Right.
combination of, think about it this way: how many different languages are in the world, and everybody has access to AI,
Yeah.
and everyone across the world is creating amazing things with AI.
True. Very true.
So whatever it does is kind of like, oh my gosh, because I could probably, I mean, I could take anything that I have and say, translate it into French, translate it into Spanish.
Mhm.
And then I could say, make sure that we haven't said something that might be culturally offensive. Now, I think about that because I've worked in international markets. Not everybody's going to
Right.
think about that. But I could say, hey, Claude, let's not offend anybody. Or are there any words on this after they've been translated that might be offensive? Or translated or interpreted an unintended way. Um, think about that. Like, we can communicate with AI in a way, like we've been using AI. This is what people don't think about. When we are writing an email forever ago, let's even go 20 years ago, probably, and it would start doing predictive text. That
Right.
was AI. It was just training. That was
Mhm.
AI. Or when we started using that automated systems on the phone, and that annoys us all forever ago, that was AI in its infancy. Um, just different things. Like, we've been prepping and growing. It's just, it wasn't in the public sector. And that's where it comes, where it's open AI. All that means, it's like open tech. It's like, it's a free for all for everybody. Like, hey, here you go. You can have the technology too, instead of just a few people having that
Right.
technology.
Right.
And so now it was like Lotus Notes was with the government before it was before it was public. I had access to the internet when I worked for a government contractor before the public did. So we're no longer in that space where everything is, oh, the government gets to keep it or this business gets to keep it. It's open. That's where it's open
Yeah.
AI. Like it's open forum now. And that's why, there's all the good, the bad, the ugly that comes with all these things. But I don't think I think everything surprises me. Like when I look at it, there's always something like, I'm like, oh, it did that pretty good. Okay.
Right.
Or, oh, it reeled me in. Okay. I'm my bad. And could that be scary if you watch some of those shows about, of course it could be, but if you use it responsibly and know that you can turn it off, are we going to get away from it? No, you're not.
Right.
Is it going to take jobs? It's going to change how we do things. And I think where it comes down to when they talk about it in the job space, you as an employee need to level up your skills if that's the markets that you're going to stay in, and learn how to work along the side of it, and just look at it that way. I mean,
but I think people need to understand, though, that the one thing that it's never going to replace is personal interaction.
Exactly.
Right. And if you're in a space where personal interaction is part of still using AI, I think then the thing that you really need to brush up on is your personal communication skills. Exactly. Because I think AI has sort of taken that, whether it's because we're texting and we're doing it short, and most of us don't even really send great emails anymore. We just kind of send something off and hope that it has the message that we wanted, because we want it to be fast and quick. And especially those of us who aren't connecting Claude to email to write it for us. But I mean, the personal connections, and really, if you're in business and relationships is how we build businesses, you've still got to have that skill, how to hold a conversation, how to go out and meet people, and not just rely on sitting behind your computer screen and putting stuff out and hoping that builds your business for you.
Well, and there was an interesting study that I read it. I can't remember which publication it was. Because, I'm a geek. I love tech. I love tech in all different ways.
Yes, you do.
But I also love photography, film photography, not digital. I hate digital photography.
Yes, I know.
I absolutely love film photography. And there was a study done that a lot of people and a lot of younger are going back to the analog stuff. They're going back to, vinyl, and which yes. I have a record player and I have vinyl. I love all things vintage, and it's that disconnect, and they want to, because we're so inundated with the tech and we're using it so much, and AI is becoming very, right along the side of you. It's leverage. It's your partner. It's your partner in crime in all things. It's your partner. But we want the books. Board games are making a comeback. And then film photography, it got to come back during the shutdown. It's coming back again. It's coming back strong again. Vinyl is coming back. And so all these vintage, they call it vintage. We're just getting back to some of the things that don't require that interaction, because there's that human interaction with it. People are wanting to play cards. They're wanting to play Mahjong or whatever it is. Because
Mahjong. I want to learn to do that.
How to play it. And I think the tiles are so cool. But just think of the whole thing. Like you're sitting at a table with 4 people, and then if you're at some place that has a lot of people, like people are wanting that connection. So there's still a place for it, with your car and your house and your phone and your business. But then there's that other little piece where people do disconnect still. And you have to still have the knowledge on all those other things. And you have to have the knowledge on how to use the AI, and to teach it and to get out what you want. You have to know what to ask it to get what you want. So there is still that knowledge base. That's why I tell people that it's leverage. It's nothing more than leverage to make you run whatever task it is more efficiently. That's it. Could you write a book faster? Absolutely, you can. It's making things that when people would say, oh, maybe someday, is now.
Yes. And I think again, I'll go back to those of us who are over 50, right?
I'm over 50.
That's why I said those of us. But those of us who are over 50, I think this is a great way for us to be able to create some things that we do want to leave behind.
Yes.
And leave behind digitally or in a book or, whatever it is for our children and our grandchildren or, whatever it is that we're passionate about and the people that we're passionate about. And being able to do that through AI is so much easier to have that help than to try to figure it out on our own. Because let's face it, one of the things that I want to create is a digital bird book for Sam, right? Because he says, go get your phone, take a picture and tell me what that bird is. Right? Because, we have the pond across the street. There's constantly birds over there. And so I've probably got 10 or 15 new birds that are coming. I take their picture, I throw it into Google search and say, tell me what this is. And it's so much easier to do that and have this than to look through a bird book and try and find that bird. Right? It's like, no, here, I can do this. And now I can put exactly the birds that we have, use the pictures that I've taken, and give him exactly what he's looking at when he's sitting up there on the porch.
Well, and you can tell Claude to create an app or a digital book for you with those photos and tell it to give you all the details for every bird. And it will do
there
it.
You go.
There you go. I mean, and you
see, look, we just figured out how to do my project.
Right here. And it will do it for you. And that one will probably take a little bit longer, and you'll want to verify. Of course, I always say verify what it says, but Sam won't know the difference. Just give it to him.
and he's not going to care as long as it's the birds are the right birds and they have the right name and he knows, right? It's like, but I didn't even think to have Claude do it or
Claude could
Chat do it
or Charlie or Grok or there's just so many different ones that you can use. And they're, you can get overwhelmed with them. Like I have a subscription to one that gives me access to 100 different ones. I don't use that one very often because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much.
And if you're getting overwhelmed, I certainly am not going to step into it.
And eventually I'll take the time, but then it's like, when do I have the time to do it? It'll have to be specifically for a certain project and be like, okay, I'm trying to create this. But what I have gotten to the point where I will ask Claude or Charlie, sometimes I'll put the same prompt in both of them because those are the two that I use the most, because Charlie, ChatGPT is better at some tasks than Claude, and Claude is better at something than Chat. And so there is that distinguishment of use this tool for this one for that. use one for images. Of course, Grammarly, people, that is AI. It really is. It has an AI component to it. You can, Canva, I find myself not using it as much
No.
because I can have Claude or Charlie do it for me. So, and sometimes it used to be that they weren't good with text. It's come a long way. It's gotten very good at it with imaging and text and generating thumbnails for YouTube channel. I give it the raw components and that quick. And I'm good with that. I love it. And it's the right size for whatever media platform we might be putting something on.
Right.
So I think there's no one tool. You know me, I'm not one that tells people, oh, you have to use this, or that.
Right.
Because I always meet people where they're at. So if I have someone that tells me, oh, I've been using Gemini and I really like this, or I'm using Copilot, or I'm using Grok, or and they're like, but I'm not getting what I want. I'll sit down and use their tool and say, okay, is this what you're wanting? And if they say, no, I'm not, well, why don't we try this one or this one to see? Because sometimes it's just like I'm a Mac user, but most of my clients are PC users. I'm not going to convert them to a Mac, to Apple product. I hate PCs? I'm not a fan. Sorry. But do I know how to use it? Yes, I use it daily. I've been using a PC since it was Word Perfect with a DOS prompt. So I know how to use them. It's not my system of choice, but you use a tool that you will use. Just like when you told Claude, I'm not going to do that. If I was to tell someone you need these 5 tools, this is your tech stack, and specific ones, that's never going to work. Because not everyone likes MailerLite. Not everyone likes MailChimp. Not everyone likes, what's that one that you like? ConvertKit. And there's a bunch of different ones. Of course. And then someone will say, well, is that one better? No, just pick a freaking tool and use it.
Yeah. And that's what you told me. I mean, at the end of the day,
Just pick one
and use it until you get to a place where you need something different.
And you need something different, because you're always going to find something at some point. There's not one tool that will do everything for you 100% right.
Right.
So just pick what you like, and you can always change, and just know that it's going to take you probably 10 hours to change. Mm-hmm. And know that you'll invest that time in it. But if you keep bouncing around, you never become an expert. You never leverage it. But, any tool, it's not worth anything if you don't use it.
Right.
So just pick one. Just pick one and start using it. So with AI, pick one and start using it. And when you feel like you're evolving, maybe go to the paid version when you start using it. And if you don't like it, cancel it and try another one. Find the one that you like best.
Right.
Because there are so many. There's so many of them. Like, I could spend hours every day just playing with tech and not producing anything. But it's just like, pick one. People like Loom, some like Zoom, some like, like Descript, some like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Like, pick one. Just pick one. It doesn't matter. And then repurpose. That's the key right there. One platform or one medium, and then utilize your content across the board.
Yes.
So, and then the nice thing about AI, say you want to dabble in another system, say, hey, Charlie, engineer me a prompt for Midjourney. This is what I want to do. It will give you the exact prompt that you need with all the parameters. So you don't even have to learn that one. Copy it, paste it, and see what you get.
Hmm. Yeah.
and have it help you use other tools better.
And I think that's the key is really figuring out, and understanding that it does take time and it does take some patience and it doesn't have to be perfect.
No,
And I think
nothing.
that's what we're expecting AI is to make things perfect.
No.
And it's not going to be perfect. And so you have to decide what is the actual outcome you're looking for when you're using that tool and when you're putting something out into a space where it's for your business,
Yeah.
right? Is it in alignment with who you are and your message and what you're here to
Because
do?
there's often that misalignment, and we've seen this before, where you'll see it where you'll look at all their other content, and then you meet the person and you're like, oh well, they're nothing like all their stuff, because they had someone else do it, or they had whatever, or
Right.
back in the day. And now it's because they had AI just write it for them randomly, and they didn't proof it, or they didn't feel comfortable saying what it said, that, oh, this is your mission statement.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I can say those words. But and then people have that disconnect. So then, they're not impressed, or they're disappointed, or that you're not that persona that they thought
Hmm.
you were. And so I think that, you have to be careful. You have to have that ownership with it. And, can you own what AI produced for you?
Yes.
And if it is in alignment, and I know you hate the authentic, but mine is always mindful, intentional, and authentic. Like,
Yes.
is it authentic to you? Like, is that you?
Right.
Because people are going to see through the BS. They will. And it's easy. Like, it's easier to detect it now than
Hmm.
it used to be. Because there's always been
Right.
copywriters. I mean, that's how you got to think of Claude or Chat. It's a copywriter.
But I think now we have more mediums to actually see people in, right? So you and I showing up today live, we're actually giving people a more genuine look into who we are because we're not actors, we're not performing. We're sitting here going, all right, if you're working with us, this is what you get, right?
Right.
And I think that so many of the, especially, the gurus out there that are really doing their stuff, making millions and millions and millions, they've been doing it for so long with the copywriters and all of the things. And now, regular people are able to come in and go, but we're also doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
And you have access to us.
Right.
And we're genuine and
Yeah.
we're authentic to our message. And you can see that because we're live today.
Right.
Right. And I think that we got lost before, and now this gives us that opportunity to be front and center as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you no longer have to have a physical team of however many to
Mm-hmm.
be in the
Successful.
front, to
Yeah.
be whatever success. And
Success
I always
is.
hate the word successful, because it's like, but it is. It's like, because everyone's version of success is different.
Oh, yeah.
If I had, just like a hundred followers, I would see that as success. You see it all differently, and we're able to have that, keep that small team, or build a big team with humans if you want to. You have that luxury, and just equip your humans to be able to leverage their time, because again, time is the most valuable asset. And if you allow people to be able to be creative and be 10 times more efficient, or even 3 times more efficient, they're going to love what they're doing a lot more,
Mhm.
because they are able to have that work-life balance,
Right. And that's what
because
we're all looking for, right?
we are, and whatever that is for people. My ultimate goal is to be able to literally work from anywhere,
And you do
because
that a lot,
I do, but I want to do
but
it more.
more. Well, and we want to do it on our terms too.
Yes.
Right. And I think that's the thing. More
Yeah.
time traveling and, being with our
But there's
grandkids,
people
doing
that
all
don't
the
want
things.
that. They
That's
don't
right.
want that, but they do
Something
want
else.
to build something else but they're still leveraging AI to fulfill that. Or
Mm-hmm.
they need those humans around them where, they want that, but they also are leveraging the AI to work smarter, not harder. And so there is a place for it in every capacity, whatever
Right.
you're thinking, whether it's small or big, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And that's why I tell people, and that's why I always tell you, just try it, just do it, just pick one, just pick one. What web page should I use now? When it comes to websites, because websites are still important, because now AI is scouring people's websites. Blogs are very important now, because blogs are, for all those people that have been blogging for the last 10 years, they are going, or 20 or 30, because there's been those avid bloggers, they will show up as an authority because
Mm-hmm.
AI is finding them and saying,
Right.
oh, this person has consistently talked about X, Y, and
This,
Z
yeah,
for
yeah.
10 years. They are an authority. And so their authority score is higher. So there's so much to it that all the things that we've all loved doing or wanted to do are still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
We're just doing them better, different, faster, more efficiently,
Right.
and having sometimes tech do it for you. I mean, how cool is it? This is kind of where I can walk away from the computer. It's working. Go get my coffee, go get me something to eat, talk to the dog, go check outside, come back. It says still thinking. Okay, go switch the laundry, come back, and bam, it's there. A 9-page AI cheat sheet for
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
Okay, thank you.
So as we wrap this up, tell us how someone can come to. I know you have a cheat sheet that I'm going to be attaching to,
Yeah.
the show notes when we get done. But if someone
So,
wanted to come work with you, or at least have that conversation to say, this is what I'm trying to do. It's not working. I don't know where to start, whatever it is, or I've
right,
started and it's crap.
right,
Right.
right. So I had fun doing the AI cheat sheets because I come from a generation of Mad Libs, right? And where you fill in the blank. So I did fill in the blank prompts for y'all. And on the last page, it talks about how to get a hold of me. The last page, you can get unstuck fast and get an AI one-on-one sprint call with me. You can, of course, join get on the wait list for Business Growth Society, because I've been kind of keeping the paid version on hold right now. You can just get into the free one and just kind of see my world a little. You can follow along all my socials. Everything is AKA Gabbie, Gabbie. Um, or you can get on a discovery call on my Calendly link, and all the links are just right there. You can go to gabbieandcompany.com/AI cheat sheet to get the cheat sheet, or you can check out my website, contact me, reach out to me, and I have everything set up where you can get on a Calendly appointment, or you can do a one-on-one strategy, whatever it is. I do have I think there's a 15-minute free call on there where, you know what, hey, get on there, ask me a quick question. I'm more than happy to. You only get one of those though. Because I like to help too much, and my coach has told me that my time
Where's
is
your
my
boundaries?
most
Where's your
valuable
boundaries?
asset, and that I need to increase my rates and all sorts of other things that I'm not necessarily willing to do, but because I like to help everybody, because like I said in the beginning, I love seeing when someone else's success starts growing, and I see that in excitement in them, I'm just like, oh, this is perfect because I love that. Like, I love seeing someone else be successful.
That's
And
true.
I love them being able to reach that and it changes their lives, or just the simplest of things, or they've decided to launch a business or write a book or
Mhm.
do a blog post or whatever it is. Seeing that, just like that, that's why I do it. Now, of course, we all do it for lots of different reasons, but I just love that. So you can find me at Gabbie, Gabbie and company.com, or at AKA Gabbie, and just reach out to me. I'm here. Cindy will have the links in the show notes.
Yeah.
I'll probably share this on my platforms as well. And yeah, I'm a geek. I'll talk geek with you, but I also try to dummy it down as much as I
Yes.
need to. Everyone says, I will meet you where you're at. And so I work with people that are just as expert as I am, but they don't want to do it. And then I work with people who are scared to death of all of it or have never done any of it and have created very successful businesses for themselves. Because it's been business centric. I've helped people publish books. Um, let's see, podcasts, you name it, anything, we can do it.
Yeah.
If you dream it, I can help you implement
Yes.
it.
That's true.
That's the simplest. That's why I always say, okay, we can do anything you want. When I say that, I sincerely mean that, because we're in an age that you can do whatever it is that your little heart desires. You can achieve it. You can do it. We can make it happen. It can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. And it really is that simple. Just pick one. Just do
Pick
it.
one. That's right.
So,
So, as we close this down, I just want to say how thankful I am to be your friend and to have you in my corner when tech blows my mind. And I go, I don't have time. You got to do it. So I want to thank Stephanie for taking the time out of her very busy schedule with her clients and her business, and thank Shirley for sitting on this entire time with us. We appreciate that. And so, with a warm cup of tea and an open heart, this has been Tea with Kiki, and I'm your host, Cindy Kojo, and my special guest, Stephanie Marie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, dear.
Amazing.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Shirley.